Welcome y'all into the Torah Podcast. What did Korach do wrong? He seemingly had a very principled and true claim to that society was not equal. Moshe Rabbeinu, you just promised us that we were Mamleches Kohanim V'Goy Kadosh. We are a entire congregation of princes and kings. And here you and Aaron are above us, seemingly at a higher position, and it isn't fair. Actually seems like a valid claim. To answer this, I'd like to zoom out and jump right into the Mishnah in Avos. The Mishnah in Avos references this battle between Moshe and Korach and depicts it as the defining situation of a machlokes shelo l'shem shamayim, an argument that is not for the sake of heaven. And what is the situation where there is a machlokes l'shem shamayim? That is Hillel and Shammai, the great Tanoim that argued vehemently about what the halacha is and what is the halacha l'maisa. Now, that argument lasted for 3 brutal years, where the holiest of rabbis would go toe-to-toe, perhaps even red in the face, fighting for the sake of Hashem, fighting Lishma. Before we begin to examine why this Mishnah and this defining difference of fighting Lishma was the difference between Korach and Shammai and Hillel, and why it was Korach's downfall, I'd like to first say the famous pshat from Rabbi Yisrael Misalant on this Mishnah. Rabbi Yisrael Misalant tells us that this Mishnah is warning us that be very careful that when you are learning or fighting or teaching or arguing for the sake of Ruchnius, confirm that it's for the sake of Ruchnius. Confirm that it's not actually that you are blaming the rabbi or the gabbai or the Rosh Yeshiva or the mashgiach about something, when really you're just upset about something else. Our Yetzer Hara tends to make arguments into Ruchnius, spiritual, Jewishness arguments. Why? Because those machlokas, those disagreements last. They endure. People become very passionate and bitter in regards to spiritual disputes. So, Rabbi Yisrael cautions, make sure that when everyone's jumping on board to tear down something in spirituality, and someone's even fighting strong to build up something of spirituality, feel it out to make sure that it actually is a proper cause to be fighting for, even if it is in spirituality. Rav Avadja Mibartanura, the great and venerable sage of the 15th century, the rabbi who begins the changing of the guard from the Rishonim to the Achronim, tells us perhaps his most famous comment on all of Pirkei Avos on this line. And that is, cut and dry, the defining difference between Korach's fight and Shammai and Hillel was truth against power. The battle for truth endures and is encouraged, but the battle for power leads to a quick demise. He continues to explain that Moshe Rabbeinu even went to war, so to speak, against Hashem, when Hashem threatened to completely annihilate the Jewish people and build up the nation again just through Moshe. And Moshe Rabbeinu fought back, took up a machlokas with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The Gemara, open up Talmud Bavli and you will find nothing but disputes from holy rabbis. Go to a yeshiva and you will see vehement arguing about how to learn a sugya. Zok the Rav Avadja Mibartanura, because arguing and trying to search for the truth is encouraged. We want people to ask. We want people to be curious. And we want them to fight, but all for the sake of emes, truth that endures. However, Korach, he fought shelo l'shem shamayim. He was fighting for the sake of honor, for his own status. That leads to bad things quickly. This explains openly why and how Jews should ask questions, or if at all should they ask questions. As Jews, we are encouraged to always ask. Question everything. That's a Jewish idea. But ask wanting to know the truth. Don't ask with a negative outlook. Machlokes l'shem shamayim is moiridik, is fantastic. We want that. Search for the truth. Be like Moshe and like Shammai and Hillel. And God forbid, don't be like Korach, who fought. Seemingly on the outside, it looked like a valid claim. But the Torah testifies that it was rather just for honor. Remember, question the rabbis. Be curious about the root of mitzvos. Argue with your chavrusa, all to find the truth.